You're listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jen, and we are two boss babes helping inspire you to start your business.
So today we are talking all about social media. Last episode we talked about networking in person and online, and today we are diving further into social media and all of the strategies, which platform to use for what purpose, all that good stuff. So do you want to just kick us off?
Yes, I love this topic. I'm so excited to share more on it. Social media is so important for your business in so many ways. And I know a lot of people get overwhelmed with social media, but I feel like it is the best platform for free to be able to promote your business. And it's very important to be on social media as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, because there's just so many different ways to be able to get your name and your brand out there to a larger audience. You know, last episode we talked about networking events, which is amazing, but there's only so many people that you can fit into one room. When you're on social media, you have the opportunity to be in front of so many different people. And there's really no end to how many people you can get in front of. It's just how much you post, what you put out there, what content you put out. And I know it can be overwhelming and people like cringe when they're like, I have to post content on social media, but I don't think you should look at it like that. I think you should look at it as this is an opportunity for me to be able to share my business, to share something I love, and go from there.
I love what you said about it being free.
Yeah.
I think that's just like right away. That's like the reason why you should do it, is because it's a free tool, and it would be crazy to not use it because it's there for the taking. So it's free. Anybody can do it. You can start at any time. It's never too late. And yeah, maybe today this will be your motivation to get started if you don't have one yet, to maybe take it a little bit more seriously if you do have one and post a little inconsistently. You can get clients purely off of social media, and we're going to show you how.
Yes. And I'm going to dive into Instagram because that's my favorite platform. I recently did a social media training, which we will go into that later, but I probably get, actually not probably, I get 80% of my leads from Instagram. And
that's awesome.
It's a crazy statistic, and I am diving into it more this year. So with the platform I use called Honeybook, I can put, when I get a lead from a client, I can put where they found me. And actually, let me back up a little bit. So when you fill out a request on my website, one of the questions is, how did you find me? And that is so important for you to know where people are finding you, because that means that whatever platform is the highest for you, that's working. So whether it's Google, whether it's your website, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, you want to know what's working best for your business, because every business has a different platform that works for them. Mine is definitely Instagram. Second would be Facebook. And they're almost hand in hand because I do get a lot of my customers from Facebook, but I feel like I sync them with Instagram because of the pictures and things like that. But I think, so if you are a new business owner and you don't have an Instagram handle with your business name, that's your first step. So when we were actually launching our podcast, we did have a little trouble finding Shoot Your Shot podcast because there were some others that did have a similar name or something. So make sure that your first thing is you are finding a platform or you're finding an Instagram handle that works for your business. And it's funny when people ask me how I started my business, I joke and say it was available on Instagram.
That's so funny.
But it really was. Yeah, it really was. Like, that was something I wanted to be able to have my name, The Vintage Horse. Like, that was non-negotiable. I wanted people to be able to go to social media, type in The Vintage Horse, and I came up.
Yeah. And same with the podcast name. We chose shootyourshot.pod instead of, podcast was taken. I think pod was taken, so we did the .pod, but at the same time, it was also available on TikTok. So I think having the consistency over all of your platforms, make your profile picture the same, your handle the same, the name at the top of the bio, maybe your bio in itself the same, so that it's super easy for people to find you between each platform and be like, oh yeah, that's her.
Yep. Totally. And I think having a consistent platform is also very important. So for me, Instagram is my consistent platform. I post something every day. Other than when I'm on vacation or taking a little break, which is totally fine. You're allowed to take a break from social media. It will be there when you come back, even though you think that you need to do something every day, like me, if you're like me. But I really think that you need to be present every day, whether it's something on your stories, whether you're posting on your feed every day, just something. For me, I love Reels, and it's not something I liked in the beginning. And now I try to post a reel every single day. And I think that's what people have started to recognize my business as I don't know if I'm the girl that posts reels, but whatever it is, because I feel like reels are a free commercial for your business. And what other opportunity do you get to do that where you can actually build an experience with someone in 30 seconds? And I think it's so important because yes, a picture is beautiful, but that picture might not inspire someone. Whereas if I'm showing you how I'm pouring a cocktail for you, or you're envisioning someone having an amazing shoot at a wedding through a video, it's a whole different ballgame.
Another thing that's awesome with Reels is that the people that are watching it, they don't have to do any work. With a post, they have to read the caption. If it's not catchy right away, or if they're not interested in the first picture, but the second picture is your better picture that they might be more interested in, like they have to do the work to kind of get the interest and connect with you if it's not like super easy for them. So with Reels, it pops up and it's happening before their eyes. And we'll dive more into Reels a little bit, but this is important. So we can say it multiple times. I feel like so it like resonates a little bit better, but with all of your content, there's like a 3-second spark for people's interests. If your first 3 seconds don't capture somebody's attention, they're moving on. So
I totally agree.
Having as many reels as you can make, like you said, posting one like every day, or having a strategy for posting them more frequently. If one doesn't work, so be it. The next one might. And just being aware of like the 3-second thing, or like seeing something 7 times for it to resonate with you. Doing that as much as you can. I mean, there's 7 days in a week. So,
and I think too, like you just mentioned having a strategy, you don't have to create a reel every single day. You can actually store reels in your, that's what I'm looking for, like your
drafts.
Thank you. And if you're not familiar with that, YouTube has everything. So if you're new to social media and you're not sure how to create a reel, literally go on YouTube and say, how do I create a reel? Everybody will show you how. And that's what I did, because I actually didn't have reels when I first started my business. You know how Instagram like slowly brings out new things to everyone? Well, I was so upset because my personal page had it, but my business page did not have reels. And I thought that was always going to be something that was really going to benefit my business, because I can tell a story through a video a little bit more than you can through a picture. And I was so bummed. I was like, when am I going to get them? I even like called or you can't call, but I like emailed them or something, and they were like, they didn't even respond, but they basically said it was coming out slowly to different people. So with all new things, Instagram is always, and even social media in general, is always bringing out new things to benefit the platform and to benefit the customer experience. And I think change is very hard. So when Reels first came out, and then when other different things started coming out, people weren't used to it and they're like, I don't like this. But then once you got the hang of it, they're putting these things out to benefit the customer because they want you to be on the app. And that's another thing, that the biggest part of social media is being social on social media. And I can't preference that enough. Like if you're on your page, you need to be liking other people's pages. You need to be, and that's how the algorithm works too. And I was like so afraid of that word when I first started. I was like, oh, I would like cringe because I had no idea what it meant. But basically, Instagram or Facebook or TikTok rewards you for being on their platform. And what they do is, and they say that you should start to, before you post whatever you're posting for that day, you should go in and start liking other people's pages, commenting, sharing, doing something on the app for the app to start recognizing that you're using it. Because what that does is it boosts your post into the platform higher than someone who wasn't on it earlier. And the same thing after you post. Stay on the app, be interactive, comment, like, share, whatever you need to do to again, tell the app you're using it. And in turn, it rewards you and it says, hey, this person's using the app. Let me bump their post up a little bit.
Yeah. And you mentioned that the platforms are always changing, and that's true. And so this is true for right now, but like a year from now, algorithm might be different, something might have changed, but currently I agree with you. I think I've heard people say that it's like a 15-minute thing, like you should be interacting with people for 15 minutes, post, and then interact for another 15 minutes, and then you can leave the app. It's like an experience. It's a whole process. But recently Instagram just added scheduled posts. So, I mean, we'll see what the algorithm prefers with that.
Yep.
If it pushes people who schedule posts now instead. This week I'm experimenting with that. I've experimented with it a little bit, but my analytics have shown that my posts have been doing best in the middle of the week. So I'm trying to do the scheduled posts in the middle of the week. So this week I'm going away, and I know that I won't really have a lot of time for it. So I prepared 3 posts for the middle of the week, and they're just going to go out, and I'll check in with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We're testing things out.
I'm interested to see how that goes. So
yeah.
Also, if you have a business account, and if you are a business, you should have either a creator or a business account. I have a creator account, and what that means is it gives you better music, and it gives you a little bit of better tools to create posts because it wants you to use the content on Instagram. But you can see your insights. So if you go into whatever post you did, there's a button that says insights, or I think it's on the top of your page now. And you can see in the behind the scenes what days are the best for your posts, what hours are the best for you to post. And what that means is your audience, the majority of your audience is on the platform when you're on the platform, like when you're posting at that time. You don't have to. I know my platform is it's around 6 p.m. at night is like the majority of my people are on. I technically usually tend to post in the morning because I kind of want to get it over and done with. And then throughout the day, I'll comment, I'll respond if someone comments on it. I'll go on the platform more. But I feel like the morning is just good for me. But I actually do most of my reels live. I'll save like a video that I like, but I like to be inspired, and I enjoy doing it, and I can do it very quickly now that I know what I'm doing. So I do more live, but I do have drafts for those days where I'm like, my brain is mush. Yeah. I just don't know what to create today. And I will use one that I've already kind of kept in my draft. So if you're someone who does not want to think about it, take a day or like a few hours, draft a bunch of different reels. If you're in the video, change your hair up, put a different shirt on. We joke about that. We're like, we'll just do outfit changes. But you can do it in one day, and then you can be done for the whole week, and you don't have to think about it. But you're still putting content out for your business. You're, still doing the thing you're supposed to do with social media.
I know a lot of people that do exactly that. They like batch their content, and like Mondays or something, they'll like set a day where it's like, this is my content day, and they'll put on a bunch of different outfits. They'll save a bunch of audios like throughout the week, like music that's been trending. They'll be like, oh, I'll do that one on Monday, this one on Monday, and then they'll like prepare the ideas and then sit down and shoot it all in one day. So that's kind of nice, but that kind of depends on everybody's schedule with what you're doing in your business. But I
just thought of something that there's like a reel that was out where it's like, nobody's going to know. And did you ever see that one? It's like, nobody's going to know. And it's true. Nobody will ever know that you batched all your things, especially if you do it on different days. Nobody is ever going to know. So do what works best for your business. Do what you feel is going to be less stressful, but be on social media. That is like number one. Also, your bio. I'm very specific when I tell people about how to like present their bio, because that is the first thing people say. Also, you can now pin like the 3 top pictures. That needs to represent your business the most that it could possibly represent it, because that's going to show someone if they want to follow you or not, or if they want to interact with your page. But your bio should say who you are, what you do, and should have a link to either your website. I have Linktree now because I have more than one platform that I want people to go to, and Linktree is free, so you can always add that as a free platform too. But you should have your website or whatever you want people to go to in your bio. And then also have, like, for example, I'm a mobile bar. In my bio, it says mobile bar. I think it actually says it twice. And it also, if you're a local, so like, I know you travel a little bit, but primarily you're in Connecticut, you want people to know where you're located. If you're not if you're not a business that can ship, or you're not a coach where you can do things from home, if you're a service that is local to a certain area, like I have Connecticut Mobile Bar in my bio because I want people to know that I'm only based in Connecticut. Do you have Connecticut in yours?
Yeah, so for bio, I have my name and then CT photographer. So in that very first part where it asks you to put in your name, I don't just have my name, I also have my business. And so it says like Megan Dash CT photographer. And I've had really good feedback from clients with that, because I'm like, oh, how did you find me? And they're like, Instagram. And I'm like, oh, that's really awesome. Can you tell me a little bit more? Like, was it a hashtag? And some people have said yes. Most of the time though, people tell me, oh, I just searched Connecticut photographer and yours popped up at the top. And I think it's because Instagram thinks that my name is Connecticut photographer.
Yep. No, it's funny you said that because
so it works.
That is actually also a search platform. I did some research on finding that, and that's why you want to have, like for me, I want CT Mobile Bar, Connecticut Mobile Bar, because when people are searching that, even if they're just doing a hashtag, that's still going to come up on their search in your bio.
Yeah.
So that's so important to have.
Even if you do travel for work, like if you're a mobile bar and you travel around New England, or like I'm a photographer, but I'm based in Connecticut. I live in Connecticut, so I have it say Connecticut, but I'm available nationwide. And so further down the line, it'll say like up next, CT, and then a little airplane. And right now it says Utah. So like then people
She's
kind
leaving
of
tonight for Utah.
I am. So people kind of get the idea that like, oh, she travels. And then same with the pinned posts. If you want people to know that you're available nationwide, make that one of your pinned posts at the top. So my pinned post, one of them is an about talking so fast because I'm so excited.
We love social media.
My first post that's pinned is a picture of me with a camera that's an about me post. It's like, it was just like a general about me post that I had in the past. And I was like, oh, you know what? This picture looks really good. And it was when they had first introduced the pin post. And I was like, I'll pin that one. So it's a little bit about me and what I do, my services. The next one is one of my favorite photos, like most proud of. I want people to like see my best work right at the top. And then the next one is a caption that's like all on how to book. So it's like step 1, inquire through my website. Step 2, tell me all your details. 3, and it's like step by step how to book me. So
I love that.
the pin post.
Yeah. And mine is very similar. And I think it's so important to have a picture of you because we talk about this a lot. Like you're a human behind the business and you want people to know who you are behind the business. And I think having that be one of your top posts is so important because they're going to resonate. They're going to see a human behind, you know, if I just had 3 cocktails, they're going to be like, this is cool. But like who's behind this?
2 things on that. Also, if you find somebody like from a reel or something and you see their face in like a pinned post or like your top post or something, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. You come back later and they're on their stories. You're like, oh, I remember because they've already seen what you look like. They're like, oh, she looks like this. I remember her. She's, you know, whatever. So I think that's really important. And then 2, I try to post as many pictures of myself as I can manage because I'm a little shy. I'm a little bit of an introvert, but I'm trying. So just a rule of thumb for me that I use in my business is in each, in your feed, what is it, like 3x3 that you can see on your screen?
Oh, yep.
Unless you like scroll past your bio, then it's probably like 4x3 or whatever. But I try to make it so that there's at least one picture of me in each portion of your screen, I guess. So in like the 4x3, there's at least one. You scroll to the next 4x3, there's at least one. Like I want to be repetitive enough where people are like, oh yeah, she's the photographer, even though I don't have a camera in my hand in every picture.
I love that. And it's funny. I do try to do myself. I stopped doing it as much because I felt like I was a little bit posting too much of me, but I always want my trailer to be in a picture because I want people to know I do cocktails, but I want people to know that I bring this like really cool trailer behind it too. So my 3 posts are, one is of me, one is of a cocktail, and one is of the trailer. And it's
That's
the top
perfect.
3. Yeah. And it's, you know, when people come, those are the 3 top things that they see as my business. So they know I'm a mobile bar, then they see what I do, and then the feed from there can kind of go into. But I love that you do a picture and you're on your stories. We could talk about stories a little bit next. But we talked about this in the last episode, but stories are so important.
They are.
So important.
So much.
And I think the reason for that is actually, I know the reason is so stories are only seen to your followers. Number 1, your feed is to anyone. So if someone's not following you, but they follow a hashtag that you use, or if your reel pops up on the For You page or whatever it is, those are going to be to anyone, but your stories are only to your followers, even if you're public, because you have to click on that.
I think they're public, but you can make a private story for just your followers if you want to.
Right. But like, for example, if I am, okay, so it's only people that are following you. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think stories are public.
I'm
for
sorry,
everybody.
who you're following. So like
someone,
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
I thought you meant on your own feed. Okay, no. I'm with you.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
so
with you.
so
Okay.
basically, if they're not following you, they're not going to see your story.
Yeah, you mean
Okay.
like in your homepage when they're all at the top.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Those are people that you
stories
follow.
are important because you're building that relationship with your audience. So you're keeping them like, you know, they can see your posts and maybe the algorithm is not showing your post to them that day, but your stories might because they're following you. So stories I feel like are really used to build that relationship, whereas your feed is to like start the relationship, and then the story is to like keep them active.
And if you like their post or comment on it, it's more likely that their story will be at like the top. When you're scrolling through. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And it's so important to be on those. And I know a lot of people are not as comfortable doing it. I was not for a very long time. I still am not on it as much, but I'm always, now that the algorithm changed again, they say post 3 stories and then like wait a little bit, because now they're saying there's a whole nother thing. And again, it's always changing, but now they say that Instagram is diving into 3 stories, and then you have to actually like click on it again. I don't know if it's launched yet, but you have to like click on it and then you'll see the rest of the stories. Because I think they were realizing that people were posting too much and people were just scrolling by it anyway. So have your first 3 stories for that day. One should be a poll, whether it's your first one, your second, because what a poll does, or something to interact with people. So it could be like that little slide bar or a poll where it's asking 3 different questions, which people love, by the way.
Yeah.
I've actually had friends who are like, I just clicked your poll to know what other people answered.
But it's better because then it makes your analytics higher and people will be like, oh, your engagement's really good, and Instagram will promote you more.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
What do you like best about your stories? Like, what's one thing that you feel that you get a lot of either messages on or something from other followers?
Honestly, I think you hit it on the ball. When you put something for them to interact with, people will.
I agree. I do agree.
If not, if you're saying something that's like groundbreaking, people will reply. Or if you say something like really personal and you like ask a question, like even just when you're talking, like, oh, tell me about your day, like send me a message or something, like people will swipe up and message. So yeah.
And I think too, I did a poll for a while that was like, which cocktail do you like better? And I would have like a really, really pretty picture of the cocktails, write what it is. I know, I'm going to start doing it again. I'm going to start doing it again because I actually have to launch my seasonal menu. So I need some inspiration from my followers. So get ready. They're coming back. But that was a huge thing because I could also save it to my highlights, which are really fun. I could talk about those quickly, but highlights are very important because it's a small platform for people to go to. So for example, if I, let's say I do holiday parties, which I do. So in the summer, obviously I'm not posting about holiday parties, but I want people, you know, towards the end of summer, early fall to start thinking about me for their holiday party. So I can have a whole highlight section of just holiday parties. So it'll have like my winter cocktails. It'll have previous holiday party setups and things like that where they could go to. And if a customer I see them at an event and they're like, oh, I have a holiday party, I'd love to hire you. And I'm like, oh, actually go to my social media, go to my highlight reel, and you'll be able to see all the past holiday parties.
So highlights for context is old stories that you can save. So stories are for 24 hours, but you can save certain ones that you want people to see at any point. And it's like, you know how stories on your feed is like at the top in the little circles? It's like that, but on your bio.
Yep. And so Megan is going to be our photographer for our April 6th event. So excited. But I just started a highlight just for that. So now I can tell people like, go to the highlight, see all the vendors we have. So it's a great opportunity for other things in your business.
Yeah. I have a highlight that's just booking information. So I have a calendar view of all the dates that I'm booked and available. So people can see it before they even reach out. They can be like, oh, she's already booked my date, and just,
that's awesome.
Saves each of our time.
Yep.
And I have like a travel itinerary for all the dates, so you can like see if I'm going to be in your area, and then you can reach out and book. So
I love that.
Yeah, and I also love how they added links. Links previously in the past couple of years were only for people that were verified or only had like 100,000 followers. It was like some like crazy thing you like had to have in order to do links. But now you can add a link to your website or to like your Carriage Barn events. Yep. You can just add something directly into your stories, and people can just tap on it and takes you wherever you want to go. And I love that.
I love it too, because the best part of social media is make it so easy for your customer.
Yes.
And if you want them to go somewhere, literally give them the link to go there. Or just in your stories, you could tell them what to do. Say in the next slide, I'm going to post a link, and they can understand what they need to do, because some people don't understand you could click that link too. I didn't understand it for a while, but it's such a great opportunity. Rather than them having to go back to your page, go in your bio, find the link, it just makes it so much more user friendly.
Yeah. Before we wrap up on Instagram and head to Facebook, I want to talk a little bit more about hashtags and about how to make a reel. And you can Google it and, do what you need to do. But just like some of our hot tips, I feel like we should like wrap up Instagram with like some hot tips that we have.
Yes, you do hashtags. I'll do reels.
Okay. I think it's really important on all your reels, your post stories. You don't do hashtags, but your reels and your posts, make use of all the hashtags that you can do. So there's a 30 max hashtag count that you can put in. Use all of them and use as many different variations that you can think of. So I'm a photographer. I'm a wedding photographer. So I'll do CT photographer, CT wedding photographer, CT wedding photographer. I don't know. I'll come up with something else. Or like New Haven CT, Danbury CT, Westport wedding, summer weddings, like whatever I can relate to my business and make it local. Try to put in local hashtags that are like towns or counties or just the state. And then I try to market myself out of state. So a lot of the time I'll caption things with hashtag New Hampshire photographer, hashtag Maine wedding, NYC wedding, and just make use of all of it and relate as much as you possibly can to your business with that, and to what is actually in the picture itself. So if I'm posting a bride that had a tulle wedding dress with like sleeves, I'll be like, tulle wedding dress, winter wedding dresses, and like make it catering to, I don't know, like a wedding dress market, not just photographers, because I want brides to see me. I don't just want photographers to see me. So make it as user friendly and open
Another
to the
one
public.
Is like CT brides, like that's, or Connecticut bride
to be
bride. Yep. And yeah, if you are local, using local hashtags is so important, because how hashtags work is you can follow a hashtag. So for example, I'm going to use CT mobile bar. I follow that hashtag. So I'm seeing all the other CT mobile bars who also use that hashtag. And that helps me get inspiration for my business too. So you're not only using it to your advantage of other people finding you, but you're also using it to your advantage of creating new content. So there's two folds to that.
And it makes it super easy for you to engage with the other accounts too, because the hashtags will just pop right up and it's like the perfect person for you to write a caption to,
you have something in common.
So I love that. Engagement is like such an important part about Instagram.
It is. And again, when you use hashtags, you're opening your opportunity to a larger audience versus if you didn't use hashtags. So use them every time. They definitely are beneficial to your post. So reels. So I love reels. I haven't had a reel go viral, but I haven't stopped posting them every single day. So you don't have to be famous or anything to put content out in the world. Just remember that too. But I love posting reels. So what I do when I go to get inspired, I look for the audio that I like the best. And then I'll just kind of scroll through my reels, and I'll find one that I like. And then I'll look at other people who have used that audio, and I'll get inspiration from that to post through my business. So for example, I'm just use one, like one was girls just want to have fun. So I was like posting different, like fun cocktails that were like pink or girly colors. So that inspired me to use that audio. But you can really do anything. I mean, you can put a picture or a video, or you could do pictures too. But you could put a video to any audio as long as it kind of makes sense. Like you want it to make sense. And also use hashtags and reels. Also, if you are now, they do like to see words too. So I'll do some where like I'll sync a word to the music beat, so for example, one that I recently did was like, why should you book a mobile bar? And at each like beat drop, I put like a different reason, because it kept people on the video. And that's what's so important. You want, the 3 seconds, you want to kind of reel them in, but you want them to stay on the video. So a lot of people will post like, wait till the end. And the reason for that is because if Instagram sees that someone watched your whole reel, they're going to say, ooh, this must be a good reel. Let me bump it up and let me have more people watch it. What's your take on reels?
No, you're so good. Like all that. I think choosing the right audio is important though too. So when you're scrolling through like the For You page basically of Instagram, where like the reels is on like the bottom and you click on it and it's just like, and they're all reels. Looking at the audio at the bottom of other people's reels, where like you tap on that and that's how you start, and you like use this audio. Use the one that has a little arrow on it.
I was just gonna go into that. I love it. I'm so glad you said it.
Trending audios that are popping now, that they're promoting right now, that everybody is like using right now, they have a little diagonal arrow pointing up, showing you that it's a trend. And then ones that you don't want to use anymore are just a little music note. So they might still pop up in your reel feed because maybe it's an old reel. Maybe it was popular, I don't know, like a month ago, but Instagram is like testing it out, see if it's still popular.
Or they use the hashtag that you're following. That could be another way.
But yeah, be aware of which ones to use, which ones maybe not to use, how many reels have been made with the audio you're about to make.
I was going to say, use ones that don't have like 100,000 reels that were already made, because it's less likely to get you bumped up because that reel has just been used so many times.
What do you know, like a number? I think people say like 10,000 to, like, is there like a range that you know?
There's not specifically, but I try to use ones that have under like 6,000.
Oh wow, tiny.
Yeah, tinier. But they're trending. So they have the arrow, which means that they're newly trending.
You want to be one of the first ones.
You want to be one of the first ones to use. Yep, exactly.
Gotcha.
So there's so many logistics, but post a reel, just do it. If you've never done one, this is your sign to go post that reel. So let's dive into Facebook really quickly. So Facebook is probably my second favorite platform, and the number one, first let's preference, you should have your Instagram linked to your Facebook. And if you're not sure how to do that, when you go to the final stage of your post, like right before you're about to post it, there's a little button that you can sync your Facebook to it. You might have to go into your settings, but sync that so that every time you put a post out, it's automatically going to go to Facebook. It's so easy.
Yeah. Work harder, not smarter.
Yes.
Like my Facebook is just kind of there. Instagram and TikTok is my thing. And like I have a Facebook because you got to maximize all the free opportunities that you have. And Facebook is really good for a certain crowd. And we can get into how we actually use Facebook. But I just kind of let it sit and just have it linked and let it do its thing. It doesn't really naturally generate any leads for me. I have to like go into Facebook and like work hard to like find my clients in like the Facebook groups, but I'm
going to dive into that. So Facebook groups is by far the number one area that I use on Facebook the most. So I have gotten so many. So I say 80% of my leads come from Instagram, but I also feel like that's because they saw me in a Facebook group and then went to my Instagram. So they may have just seen me on Facebook first, then gone to Instagram. But I have found that my target audience is more on Facebook than they are on Instagram. And the reason for that is I feel like my generation is an older generation because I am a luxury service. I'm a little bit more expensive. So I always joke that I'm not my own customer because I can't afford my own services. And that's totally okay. You just have to find your audience. And I feel like mine is a little bit of an older audience, which is going to be more on Facebook. So what I do is I go every week. I try to do at least 5 to 10 different Facebook groups. And now that I've done it for so long, I'm repeating, which is totally fine because the same person who saw a post a year ago is not going to see your post again now. And I post a few pictures of my business. One is usually me, one is the trailer, and then a few cocktails. And then I put like a little blurb like, hi everyone, so excited to connect with you. Wanted to share my business. I'm a mobile bar. I service the Connecticut area. Quick little blurb. And then I put my Instagram and I put my website links right there. I have gotten so many followers on Instagram from that, plus on Facebook because they'll see my Facebook from there. And I've gotten so many inquiries. And it's funny because I use Wix as my website platform. And when I post on Facebook, I start to see people on my website. And it's so encouraging to know that it's working. And that's what you need to make sure with your business. You need to make sure you know what's working. Back to, my inquiry form where they fill out where they found me. I know Instagram and Facebook are a huge platform on where people find me, so I continue to stay on there. How do you feel about Facebook groups?
Love Facebook groups. I join as many Facebook groups as I possibly can. I think I'm probably in all or most of the Connecticut Bride, CT Wedding, New England Wedding Facebook groups. And I should probably get a little bit better. You mentioned like you will make a post in them. I don't really post in them. I post in the comments of other people's posts in them. So people will be like brides to be and couples to be, or well, they are couples, but newlyweds to be, they will post in those groups and be like, hey, just set my wedding date. Here's pictures of my ring. Like I'm getting married at this venue, this date. I am looking for, and then list of vendors. Yep. And so when I see that and they put their budget and I'm within their budget, I'm in their area, I'm free the date, I'll comment and be like, hey, congratulations on your engagement. I love your ring. I would love to chat with you. I'm like a documentary style photographer. Here's one of my pictures and then my website. And I think in one of those comments that you're doing, definitely put one of your pictures or a video of your service. Like if you save one of your reels, maybe you can put your reel into the caption.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that people, when they're scrolling through it, they're going to see you automatically rather than having to read. Like, again, you want to make it as easy for people as possible. So if they see a picture of the style that they're looking for rather than reading that you're the style that they're looking for, you're going to make it 10 times easier for them, and they'll click on your website and like do their thing.
I love that too, because there could be I sometimes feel bad for the brides who post that and then get like 200 comments.
Yeah.
And how are you standing out in those 200 comments? And I love that you post a picture, because you could just be like, I'm available. And then what? Like, where are they supposed to go? What are they supposed to click on?
You have I don't know how many words you can put into a caption, but you only have so many to work with to sell your business.
Yep.
Yeah.
A picture is way better, especially if it's something that resonates with them instantly. They're going to choose you over someone who just wrote, I'm available. Yeah. Like, here's my website. So I also try to you've tagged me in so many different, like if someone's like, I need a mobile bar, Megan will tag me in the comments, and vice versa. I'll tag her. I think that's a huge thing too, is supporting your local vendors in those different groups too, because like I have a florist friend who I always try to tag, because mostly people are looking for florists a lot on those as well. But just being on the groups too, like not just posting and then leaving it alone, which in some you do. There's also rules. So make sure you don't get kicked out. I've gotten kicked out of a few groups, not gonna lie, or my post is denied, because being a bar and serving alcohol, a lot of the posts will get denied in certain groups, especially like the mom groups and things like that, because I either use the word bar or I use the word alcohol, which I don't usually use, but when you use bar, alcohol is a big like key word that is like a no, which is understandable. But use, again, getting Facebook groups. That's like the primary thing that you could do on Facebook. And if you're not, just start doing it. Just post in a Facebook group. So I joke that I never had a reel go viral. I've actually had a Facebook group go viral. So it was when I first started, it was a Facebook group called Connecticut Wonderful. I did the same thing. I just posted a little blurb about my business. In like 48 hours, it got 1,000 shares on that page, and the guy who actually runs the page messaged me, and he's like, I just have to tell you, because he could see like the behind the scenes,
the analytics.
He's like, because once you share it, this is another thing, once someone shares it to their page, you're now tapping into their whole audience, which is huge, because say they have 1,000 followers that you would have never connected with, you're now tapping into their followers because they put it on their page. And he goes, your post got seen more than 600,000 times.
That's crazy.
Insane. And this was when I first started, and I was like,
wow, that's awesome.
And that's what inspired me to keep going on Facebook. And then to see, like, every time someone goes on my website, I get a little notification. It just says, do you get that on yours? Like Wix shows you someone's on your page, your website.
I don't have the app on my phone.
So I love it, because it shows me like someone from Trumbull, Connecticut is on your page, and it doesn't say who, but it just says like Trumbull, Connecticut, and it inspires me, because then I know the Facebook groups are working.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's a really cool. Some people don't want it because it's like an extra notification, but I do like it. It inspires me to keep going.
Tiny tangent off of that, but it's the same thing with reels. So like when you post a reel on your account and somebody shares it on their story, the reel views will sync. So even on your own story, so if you post a reel and it gets 600 views on its own, you put it on your story and 90 people on your story see it, view goes up to 690. Same thing with other people's stories. So if you can get somebody big to share one of your reels, like if we share each other's reels, and I have 3,000 something whatever followers, you have a lot more than me.
Not a lot,
but like still,
it's huge.
It helps each other out a ton. And the same that you said with tagging your other small business friends in the captions in Facebook groups, like that looks so good for your business, because a bride will see it and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this regular Joe, because mine just comes up as Megan Cormier, doesn't come up as my business name, and be like, oh, Megan, she recommended this person. It's like a real person, like referral, instead of being like, here's my business. You'd be like, oh my gosh, my friend does that, she's incredible, and you kind of have somebody that's like selling
Another
for you.
thing too, in Facebook groups, I realized that as a business sometimes, so the Vintage Horse on Facebook is a business page, which I would not change that. So sometimes you can't post in certain groups as a business. So I actually do it on my personal page. And I think that's totally fine because I'm sharing my business as the human behind it, as we talked about. And I think that's okay. I think people want to see, like, it says Jennifer Milano, and then it says all about the Vintage Horse.
Yeah.
So I think that's totally fine if you do it on your personal page too, because sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. So talk a little bit more about how you find Facebook groups.
So I go right to my homepage. I go to the search bar. You can type in anything on the homepage search bar. And then once you type that in, you want to click groups. So for example, I'm going to do Connecticut. So I typed in just Connecticut at first. And then I started doing like town by town, because anything you can imagine, like bird watching in Connecticut has a group. Like there's literally a Facebook group for everything you can imagine. So find ones that are going to target your audience. Like bird watching probably is not going to be a target for us. So we're going to do weddings. We're going to do events. We're going to do
graduation
vendors.
parties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything that you can think is going to help your business. And again, if you're local, I'm going to do like Connecticut weddings. That's like something that I promote myself in a lot. But find anything like the tag sale ones. Sometimes it doesn't allow you to post businesses, but find ones that are like for example, I'm promoting the April 6th event right now. So I'm going in and I am looking at the surrounding towns and finding there's one that's like it's in New Canaan. So it's like New Canaan bulletin board, and it's all events happening in New Canaan. Perfect opportunity to post in there. So some, again, will not allow you to post your business, or there's certain days that you can post your business. So like Friday is like Small Business Friday in some groups. So read the rules. You don't want to get kicked out right away, but you can literally search anything.
Yeah, that part can be so confusing. And like that's one of the I like don't really like Facebook that much, but it's for things like that. I'm like,
and it works.
It's so silly.
I know.
To be like, you can only post on Tuesday nights as a small business. I'm like, oh my God. But
it is crazy. But I'm telling you, you have to. It really works. And once you get the hang of it, you just copy and paste whatever you like. Yeah. I have like double screens at home, like my laptop and then a monitor. So what I'll do is when I'm ready to do my Facebook posts, I have an old post that I did in another like group, and I'll just literally copy and paste, and you can drag the pictures right over. So I just drag the 5 pictures, drag the same thing, and just post it as much as I can.
See, Facebook for me, I just do everything on my phone. I do all of my social, besides my website, I do like everything from my phone. So for me, I'm in so many Facebook groups that just on my personal page, like my normal homepage of Facebook, just the feed is entirely Facebook groups. It's like, I'm looking for a photographer, I'm looking for a videographer, I'm looking for a florist, and it's just like Facebook groups, like my entire feed, which I love because I don't really use Facebook personally. I never really did. And so I open up Facebook and it's like a business tool right off the bat, which I kind of like. But I do like that you can switch between your profiles too. And like you can keep things separated and make one that's like just for your business. And I have a business page too. And on my personal account, it says like works at, and so like people can find it really easy. But yeah, I don't know, what else about Facebook do you think we need to talk about?
I think that's really it. I think just getting into the groups is like
getting creative into which groups to join. Like I'm in a lot of out of state ones. Last year I had a wedding in Texas, and this year I have a couple in New Hampshire. And one of the New Hampshire ones I have is actually from Facebook group. I joined a New Hampshire Facebook group and posted that I was starting to do videography, that I had very affordable rates, and that I was comparable to people that were actually local to them, even with my travel. And so a lot of people picked me up on that. And I actually booked a couple weddings in New Hampshire with videography. So that's very cool.
That's amazing. What a good story.
But yeah, I think you need to get creative in the groups that you join and make it very location based. The content even, but I think the location is like what you kind of got to get creative with, because you can't just join like a run-of-the-mill Connecticut Facebook group. I mean, that's fantastic, but like joining, like you said, an event page or like wedding page is like what you should do, and have it based in Connecticut. But same with just like travel that I want to do personally. Like I love Alaska and I want to travel to Alaska more, and Seattle I know is one of the places where you stop because it's like so far you have to make like multiple stops to get there. And so I joined some Seattle Facebook groups, like hoping that maybe I can do a couple weddings like while I'm on the way to where I want to be, like for a personal trip, and kind of like work things in like that. So
I love that. Make money while you travel.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cover all of my travel costs, but like I won't charge them for travel because it's going to be like my choice to be out that way.
I love that.
But like, it's like an expenses paid free trip. Like if I do that. So get creative and like picture the life that you want to live, and like think about how can I make that happen, and how can I use these free tools, social media, to make that happen and find the people that I need to find.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to have you start off TikTok.
Hold on. I'm a little bit out of breath. I'm not a public speaker. I was never very good in school with like project presentations, so like my heart's racing a little bit. So
I think because we're so passionate about this topic, that we're just like go.
Yeah. So for TikTok, my biggest platforms go Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and I can see that on my Honeybook too, where people are finding me from. And I think that's super cool that TikTok is my second one off of Instagram, which is super snazzy. And TikTok is a little bit more confusing, I feel like. It's a little less user-friendly. It looks more intimidating. It's also a newer platform out of the three of them. And it's also unrelated. So like Facebook and Instagram have the same owner. Meta, Facebook is like the thing. So Facebook owns Instagram, but TikTok is its own thing. And that's actually a good thing rather than a bad thing. I mean, what's nice with Instagram and Facebook is that you can link them. Everything is kind of the same. Your reel views that you post on, if you post a reel on Instagram and on Facebook, like the reel views will sync. So that kind of stuff is kind of cool. But what's nice about TikTok is that it's so unrelated. It's a fresh start. It's all new music. It's all new algorithm, new ownership. The rules are different. I don't know. I kind of like that.
I have a question. So as mentioned, I love reels on Instagram. How do you then I find it very easy to find new content and new music and things like that, like through the reels thing. How do you find new inspiration on TikTok?
It's the same kind of process.
Is it? How do you so up on top it's like, I don't know if it says for you and then followers, I think.
Yep.
Like, do you go to the for you?
Yeah, I never really look at my following.
Yeah, me either.
The people that you're following will pop up in your for you page also.
Okay.
So, for example, the Shoot Your Shot podcast TikTok,
which Megan handles,
which I handle. You do the Instagram, which is nice because I like don't want to, but I actually enjoy TikTok. So I mean, I enjoy Instagram also. But okay, moving on. So it's the same kind of process. Like I'll go on the For You page. The For You page is kind of like the equivalent of the Reels page on Instagram, where it can be, you know, it can be your followers, it can be people you're following, it could be random people you don't know. It's like a mix of the Explore page and your following page. So the For You page on TikTok will mostly be trending audios, and you'll catch on, you'll see it, you'll hear audios repeat and repeat and repeat, and you're like, okay, I get it. You can like kind of tell which one is trending that way.
Is it good to use one of those audios too, similar to Reels?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same kind of concept with Reels. TikTok came first, and then Instagram was like, oh, this is going to be the new big thing. And then they just kind of carried it over. So a lot of the rules apply the same between both ones, but they do have a little bit of their own thing. So like TikTok doesn't have the trending arrow. You just have to be aware of like which ones are trending. You have to be on TikTok enough to be like, oh yeah, this one's good. And what's interesting is TikTok came first, and so a lot of the trends that are on Instagram happen first on TikTok. And so it's kind of nice to be on both as a business owner, because you can hear trending audios or just a trend in general, because people will start new trends that match with audios too, and it'll be like, I don't know, some song, and then the trend is to share like a collage or something, but like in a video. And you can be like, okay, this is the trend. How can I relate that to my niche, rather than just hearing an audio and being like, how can I relate this audio to my niche? Like you can fall into like the actual trends too, which is kind of cool. It's a little bit of a tangent, but What's nice is those trends, all of that kind of happens on TikTok first, and then like a week or two later, it happens on Instagram. So what I do is I make a TikTok. Sometimes I'll do it on Instagram first, but majority of the time I'll do it on TikTok first. And then before I post, I'll screen record the video that I made, and I'll save it for when the Instagram audio pops up. And then I'll just use the whole thing all over again. But instead of using the audio from the screen recording, I'll remove that audio and I'll use the Instagram audio, because each platform wants you to create what you're posting on their own platform. And so even if you are repurposing something, add some text, maybe put the Instagram text, even if it's the same exact text, like copy paste. Excuse me.
Yep.
Oh, talking so fast. Okay. Even if it's the same text, like copy and paste it from your TikTok to your Instagram, but use like the Instagram text features. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it'll still probably work just as fine, but
that was a big thing too.
It likes it more when you use their audio. Yeah.
And that was a big thing too. Like when Reels first came out, a lot of people were like sharing their TikTok, but it had that watermark of your TikTok page.
Yeah.
Instagram does not like that because they're competitors. And that was a big thing when Reels came out, and why they were so important for the algorithm is because they were competing with TikTok. And they were like, if you posted a reel over a photo, they were going to bump your reel up because they wanted you to be on their platform, not on TikTok.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm on TikTok. I'm not on, but I am on.
Yeah.
But I use TikTok for a different way. So I do consulting services. So I promote it a little bit more, and I need to do it more because I haven't been on it as much, but I use my consulting services more on TikTok. So I want to share that because a lot of mobile bars on there follow me from all over the place.
That's actually really interesting, because you pop up on my For You page a lot on my business account, because I'm following you. Mm-hmm. But it never promotes me consulting videos. It only shows me on my For You page ones that are like, have you ever heard of a mobile bar? Like, here's my favorite cocktail. It never shows me those ones.
I haven't done it a lot.
Oh,
so
okay. Maybe
I need
that's
to do
why.
it more. Yeah.
I thought maybe it knew.
No.
It's not for me.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if it does happen.
Because
now I'm going to post one today.
Honestly, I didn't know that you did that. Like, I mean, I know that you do consulting.
But not from TikTok.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. I need to do it more. But that's like my vision of where I want to use. I feel like you need to figure out the platforms on how you want to use them. Like, I use Instagram for my reels. I use Facebook for groups. And I want to use TikTok for consulting. So that's kind of like where I'm going with everything. I also am, because I'm using it for consulting, I do more TikTok videos on building my mobile bar, where I don't promote that as much on Instagram. But like with us building a second trailer, I'm using that platform more to show people how to build a mobile bar. So in turn, they want to hire me for my consulting services. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think on every platform, people want to see the behind the scenes.
Totally.
But I think TikTok is like really the platform for that. Mm-hmm. Like, I will share photography tips or like Lightroom tips. We're like, oh, how to use the dehaze thing. Yep. Or like, I don't know, just like something fun and educational. That kind of stuff I don't share on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But on TikTok I will. And they do really well. So.
They do. All the videos I posted of like the behind the scenes, or like the struggle that I had with something, or like the personal side of it, I feel more comfortable posting on TikTok.
So do I.
Than I do on Instagram. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm game to share some personal stuff on my Instagram stories, but less so on like reels and stuff. I don't know why that kind of freaks me out a little bit, but TikTok is like, I'll be in my pajamas and I don't care. You know? Do
you think it's because more people do it on TikTok, so you feel more comfortable?
I think so. I think just because the market is younger, like everybody on TikTok is like millennial, Gen Z, everybody's in their pajamas, everybody's being very raw and authentic. I feel, okay, and I know this isn't true because you have like a digital blueprint or thumbprint or whatever like everywhere, but I feel like on TikTok people really let loose.
Yeah.
Like people will share personal stories, or
and you're like, oh, why'd you tell me that?
I did not need to know that. But that's just kind of the vibe that TikTok has. Like, TikTok is like a slumber party, and that's the way that I treat it a little bit with my business. Like, I keep it a lot more casual. I'm not very, I don't know, particular about the things that I post on TikTok than I am on Instagram, where I'm like, okay, this has to be perfect. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but like on Instagram, I'm more like, this needs to be right. And on TikTok, I'm like, I forgot to put a cover photo on. That's fine.
Like, this is such a fun analogy I'm going to use, but I feel like if you had like 3 children, I feel like Instagram is like the perfect child. TikTok's like the middle child, like hot mess, and then Facebook is like the third child.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like every platform has a different way. And I think that's good because
it is.
You're going to inspire your audience in different ways that you use each platform. So it is important, and I know it's a lot to create on every platform, but to what Megan just said, like use each one as easy as you can. Like sync Instagram and Facebook together. Use videos from TikTok and put them on your Instagram reels. Like make it as user friendly for yourself to get the content out, and don't be afraid to post content. Like don't make it perfect. Like yes, Instagram is more the perfect golden child, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to. Nobody is perfect. And people want to see your imperfect stuff. Like I'm the worst speller. My friends make fun of me all the time because I spell there wrong all the time. I've gotten better. I'm not going to lie. But I was like, one of my best friends would always correct me, and she's like, that's not how you spell it. And she helped me. She was like my English teacher. But there's times where I leave it unspelled wrong and I don't even care. Like I'm just like, whatever. Like I'm a human too. Like whatever. Or I'll like, because now you can edit it much easier, but I'll go back and like re-edit it. But I'm like, you know what, everyone makes mistakes. It's fine.
And what's different with like the rules that we were talking about, each platform's different. Like TikTok, you can't go back and edit. Instagram, you can change who you're tagging, you can change the location, you can add more hashtags, change the caption if you have a spelling error. TikTok, you can't. You post it and it's done.
Can you change the cover picture of a reel once you post it?
On Instagram, yeah.
Okay.
TikTok, you can't. So like I've
maybe
posted.
That's why people are more like real, because they can't change it.
Probably. But I've made sometimes I'll like post it and be like, oh, I forgot. And I'll like I'll like go back and redo the entire thing from the beginning. But then other times I'm like, it's really not worth it. It's going to do fine. Just let it be. And
that's
whatever.
another thing too. Like if a video isn't getting as many views as you want it to get, don't delete it, because that's another like algorithm thing where the algorithm will say, oh, she's like deleting it or unfollowing people. Don't do that either. Like, of course, unfollow people that you don't want to see their content all the time. That's also, I think we'll talk about that in like our mental health episode, but don't follow people that aren't inspiring you or they're like bringing you down or whatever it may be. But don't go in and just delete people because you don't want to have as many followers or whatever.
Yeah.
Leave things and don't go in and delete a post after you post it, because you could inspire someone with that post. Like, who cares?
Yeah. And I think, like you said, the algorithm, like leaving things as they are is like the best that you can do. And especially with TikTok, like TikTok, it doesn't matter if like a trend is old or something. Like we get repeat trends a lot. Like sometimes we'll get some music back from like 2019 that like was super popular in 2019 and it's just like all of a sudden it's back and you're like, oh, okay. And you can repurpose the entire video all over again if you have it saved still. So like it's kind of nice. So talking about TikTok, how to grow on TikTok, maybe we get like more into the specifics and that kind of stuff. One thing that I really like to do on Instagram and TikTok is to follow or just like search and just kind of monitor some people that post growth strategies. I don't know if that's like real or not, but I like to do that sometimes just to like be like, oh, am I still understanding this correctly? Has anything changed? There's anything new that I need to know? There's this one girl, I think her name is Maya. I don't remember her last name, but I feel like if you search her, she's up there. She like makes money. Like her full-time job is just like social media stuff and teaching people how to do it. But either way, follow those kinds of accounts and be like, how do I grow on TikTok? And yeah, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Everybody's different and things will change. The algorithm will change, but learn from those. There's so much to learn from other people that are already on the app. Just see what they're doing and you can just copy what they're doing. I mean, add your own creative spin onto it, make it your own, include your business, include your niche, narrow everything down to what you're doing. Don't make it too wide open, but copy people. Yeah.
We all copy each other. And I wouldn't call it copying. I think you're inspiring someone else.
Yeah.
And that post inspired you, and in turn, you're probably going to inspire someone else. Like I've seen people, like my followers, like I'll post a reel with a video, and then I'll see like they post a reel with a video, but did something totally different. So I'm hopeful that I inspired them to use that audio to create something on their own. And I think we all copy each other. Let's call it what it is. But I'm copying someone, you're copying someone. We're all doing it together.
That's kind of what art is. I mean, you get creative. You have your own spin on everything, but at the end of the day, like, we are all human and we're all sort of living the same experience, you know? We all have to connect to each other somehow. And so what are the odds that we're going to like this thing and then also like something else and then also like the other thing, like if they're all so similar? So a little bit of a tangent, but growing on TikTok, each platform has its own algorithm, as we've already said. So on Instagram, find your own thing. Look in the analytics and be like, oh, I do really well Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So go ahead, make a strategy that's like, I'll do 2 reels Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll do 1 post on Wednesdays. And then stick to that. Instagram really likes consistency. Every platform. I mean, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they really like consistency. If you're doing the same schedule every single week, every single month, they know that you're going to show up. They really, really like that. And you will gain followers and videos might go viral or get a lot of views, whatever. TikTok is the same way. And TikTok really likes it if you post as much as possible. Like, that's also why it's kind of overwhelming and kind of scary to be on TikTok, because TikTok wants you to post multiple times in one day, whereas Instagram kind of wants you to do like 1 a day and move on. TikTok wants you to post like 3 to 4, 2 to 4, something like that, every single day. And so people do 1 in the morning, 1 in the middle of the day, 1 at night, and they have a strategy for it. Lately, this has been like what people have been talking about is like a 3x3 strategy, where one video is with a trending audio where you're like lip syncing, or it's like, I don't know, you like talking to the camera doing something silly. The next one is doing like a long form content video where there's no audio, it's just you talking, there's no like music in the background or anything, and you're like, here's how I do this, or like story time, blah blah blah. They want something like that where it's like long form and more than like 30 seconds or something. And then the last one would be like the easy one, like the Instagram kind of one, where it's like B-roll videos from like behind the scenes, or a bunch of photos, like if you're a photographer and you do like a behind the scenes video and then the pictures, something like that. So like 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and then like 1 at night when you're going to bed. That's like what people want to do. And then they have also a strategy, like a 3x3 strategy with the captions that you're doing. So in the hashtags are just as important on TikTok as they are on Instagram, but they're different. Like, I don't even know how many you can post on TikTok.
I don't either.
People don't use that
like
many.
5.
That's what I kind of do. I do like 5 to 10. Whereas like TikTok, I make use of all, or Instagram, make use of all 30 of them. But, you know, whatever. I mean, see what works for you. But on TikTok, people are saying that you should do 3 hashtags based on what your video is about. So if I'm posting like a bride doing a twirl in her dress, I would do 3 captions about wedding dresses, or 3 hashtags about wedding dresses, and then like 3 about what I'm doing. So like 3 that are like wedding photographer. And then 3 that are also kind of just like about your business, but maybe less specific. So I do like winter weddings, summer weddings, like New England wedding or something. And so having as much variety as you kind of can and have in those, where it's like 3 about this part, 3 about something else, 3 about something else, but like they all relate to your business. Yeah. I don't know. What do you feel about TikTok? I kind of want to hear more about you and TikTok.
I don't love it. I can't. I think I'm just solely so focused on Reels on Instagram, and that's where my passion is. And I'm a firm believer of like sticking to your passion, I guess, because it comes natural to me now. But also I love change. I also don't like change. So I go through waves with TikTok. Like, there was a period where I was posting a video every day because I was just doing both. I was doing similar to what I did on Instagram into TikTok, but then I was just like, and I've actually had a few get over like 10,000 views on TikTok, and that's when it's silly, but that's what like gets me excited. And I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
You want more views, which is why social media is such a bad thing in your life, because you're relating yourself to how many views or likes you get. And we talk about that all the time. And that's not what your business is. Like, there's so many businesses who aren't on social media who are still very successful. But that's not what this episode's about. It's about being successful on social media. But anyway, I feel like I'm not using it to my advantage, and I think you're inspiring me to a little bit more. But I think you need to find your platform that works best for you. And I think doing my second trailer is what's going to inspire me to put that on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I think then they'll still be able to find my business regardless. I just think that for me, I focus on Instagram the most, and that's where I'm going to continue to focus because I'm seeing so much success on it. But I think if you're seeing success on TikTok, you need to be on there more too.
Yeah. I mean, I go through slumps too, where I'm super into my Instagram and then I'm not. And then I'm super into my TikTok and then I'm not. Or I remember to sync my posts on Facebook and then times where I don't. And I feel like, don't stress about it too much. Like, come up with a strategy that works for you where it's like 4 days a week, 5 days a week, or whatever you want to do. And like try to schedule the posts, maybe like write them ahead of time. Like I have an app that I use for Instagram. I think it's called, a lot of people use Planoly.
Yep.
I don't use that one. I use something, Preview or something, but they're all the same.
Can you draft posts on TikTok, or does it have to be live?
Oh, TikTok has drafts. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But this alternative app I like to use because, I mean, you can make drafts in your Instagram and everything, but I kind of like to see what my feed's going to look like first. And that's what these apps are all about, is you can put, it's like a feed view where you can enter in your pictures and then like reorganize them. And then you can make your captions in there and you can just like copy and paste them when you're ready to post. And so I make use of that.
One tangent I have, and we might have talked about this, but when you do post a reel on Instagram, you can change the cover photo. Make sure you go into what it's going to look like on your feed.
Yes.
Because there's so many times I've posted where my head is like half cut off. And I cringe because I'm like, I think this was before you could change it. And I go back and I'm like, I don't want to delete it, but like it looks so bad because it's literally just like half of my face. So make sure that you go into like that last step where you can change the cover photo, but you can like move it to what it's going to look like on your feed.
Yeah.
Because that's so important. But I think we should close up, and I think we should quickly talk about Pinterest.
Oh yeah, take it away.
Okay. So I don't use Pinterest as much as we should, and this was always on my like list to do things, but Pinterest is such a great domain that I think people forget about. I use Pinterest every day for inspiration on my cocktails. That's actually where I find most of my cocktails. Like my guests will ask, like, how'd you come up with this? And I'm like, Pinterest. But then I put my own flair on it. Like I make sure the recipe is kind of what I want, but I get my inspiration from Pinterest. And I think that's a huge way for you to get more followers on other platforms too, because you can put your pictures on Pinterest. You can put your link to your website and people will search for you. And I never realized that also helps you get onto Google Hire and get onto different platforms. So I'm not telling you to add another piece of work to your, if you're already overloaded with everything we just talked about, but I think that you should somehow be on Pinterest a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've actually had other mobile bars see me on Pinterest and they're like, oh my God, they'll send me like a little screenshot. They're like, I saw you on my Pinterest page. Like, I know her. And it's just that extra like gratitude that you want as a business owner to see other people seeing your work, basically. But I think Pinterest is also great because like for the content day we're doing, we use Pinterest as a shared platform between all the vendors that are involved to see the different inspiration pictures that we want to use for our content day. So I think it could be a great opportunity. I don't know if you use it for your brides too.
Yeah, I do sometimes for engagement sessions mostly, where I'll have people reach out and be like, oh, I'm really specific on my style. I really want to do it like in my boyfriend's truck or something. And I'll be like, yeah, make me a Pinterest board. And like, I'm happy to recreate any poses that you find and like put our own spin on things. Yeah, I love that feature.
Think of that as a business owner. All the posts that you're posting are other businesses. So try to get yourself on there. It's very easy too. Like I do it on my phone. Yeah. You can just upload the picture and it's and you can use like different, it's similar to hashtags, but it's like where people would search for you. But try to do a few posts, like even a month, like just throw some out there. You can do it all at one time. We all have the pictures and you can just get them onto your Pinterest page. Cause I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. I love how different Pinterest is. It makes it a little bit harder to figure out how to use, but once you figure it out a little bit, then you're like, okay, and you kind of learn from there. And same thing, you can go on TikTok and look up like how to grow on Pinterest and like find videos and videos on it. But what I like that's different about it is it's not really a social media. It's more like a search engine. You will search something in the bar, stuff will pop up, and then you click on that, you go to their website, you see their Instagram, you follow people there, and it's kind of like building up your business and supporting your other social medias. So I think that's really cool.
I love that. I do. I don't think that like, I think I have like 10 followers on Pinterest and they're like probably you,
Yeah, I don't
my
have
mom,
a lot.
like not my mom. I don't think she's on Pinterest, but yeah, like that's not the point of Pinterest. I think the point of Pinterest is allowing you to get into other social media platforms.
I think, I mean, Pinterest probably has its own algorithm too that I don't quite understand, but I know that, I mean, every platform wants you to be consistent. So if you are starting Pinterest, I would try doing like one post a day and seeing where that takes you. And I repurpose stuff again. Like I will screen record my TikTok, put my TikTok on my Pinterest, and I have one that was like a sunset beach photo shoot that like it's my biggest one on Pinterest. It has like 100,000 views or something like that. It's like crazy. But then like all my other ones are like normal.
2.
Yeah. But like if you do that enough times, like you're going to get more followers, and Pinterest actually has the biggest creator fund. So if you are trying to get into monetizing your Instagram, if you want to be like an educator, like if you're doing your consultations for your mobile bar, like if you want to like leave the bartending industry and we're like, I did really well and I'm retiring or something in like 20 years or however, how old you are and you want to do that. Or if you're just like too overwhelmed with it, but you still like are passionate about that, you can make money off of social media. And I'm monetized on Instagram, and sometimes I get bonuses pop up that it's like, oh, like if so many people see your reel this week, we'll give you $50. And I'm like, okay, well, $50 is $50.
Hey,
like that's a tank of gas. Or,
and also
really,
just to tangent into, I just want to talk about Google really quick, because that is, I guess it's not technically social media, but it is a free platform for you to be on unless you pay for certain ads and stuff. But if you don't have a Google business page, or it's not really a page, I guess I would call it like, what would you call it?
I think it's called Google My Business. I think if you go to Google and you type in Google My Business or like Business Suite or something.
Yep.
Yeah, where you like type in like Chipotle or something, and like there's like all the different Chipotles. That's what it is.
Yep. So Google your business yourself. Like just go on there and type in, I'm going to do the Vintage Horse, and you want to see like where you're coming up and what other mobile bars are coming up in the Connecticut area. And when I type in Connecticut mobile bar, I don't know if I'm officially on the first page, but I'm on one of the top pages. And that's because my website says Connecticut Mobile Bar, so that's like a search engine for Google to recognize me. I do have a business platform on Google, and there's just different ways to get yourself on Google. And that is so important because I use Google when I search for something. That's like primarily what I do. So having Pinterest also talks to Google, and your Pinterest page will come up if you have a lot of pins on your board of your own specific business. And then also I love using Google Images. So I'll use that a lot for searching different things. That's another way that Pinterest is going to bring you up on the Google platform.
Yeah. Yeah, I do that a lot too. I kind of stalk myself, and I'll go like in incognito mode, or I'll go on like my personal Gmail and just like type in my business name and like but like try to make it like different. Like if I go on my personal Gmail, like then I'll go on my mom's personal Gmail or something, just to like make it fresh and like delete the history and everything. But yeah, I'll look up Megan Ann Imagery because there's like other people in the area named Megan that are photographers, or like there's somebody else that's Megan Ann in like another state, I'm sure. So whatever, but like I'll search in Megan Ann Imagery and it'll be my website, my Pinterest, my Instagram pops up, my TikTok pops up, like my platforms are like all the way at the top. And then the Google Images is kind of cool too, because majority of those when I search my name are my Pinterest photos, not my Instagram, not my Facebook. They're all my Pinterest photos or photos from my website.
Yeah. And I think too, like I'm very lucky. I was on the news a few times, that I was in like a newspaper article, shout out. But that's also what helped me get higher in the Google platform. Yeah. And that's huge because my clientele is an older generation. They're searching on Google. So if they're searching Connecticut mobile bars, I want to be one of the top ones to come up on there. So Pinterest is a great source to use. Add it to your list. But yeah, I think we did a great job talking about social media.
I think we did good.
We did.
And I could keep going.
Like,
there's so much to talk about, but you have a class if you want to talk a little bit about your class.
Yes. So I did have 2 social media classes. I was looking for something to keep me inspired during my off season, and just really inspire other people, because my word for 2023 was inspire. So I was really looking at different ways that I could inspire other people. And everyone kept telling me, like my clients who aren't as big on social media, they were like, how do you do reels? How are you so active on social media? And I wanted to show other people that too. So I did a social media class. I've done 2. I might do another before crazy season ends or begins. But I loved the feedback that we got from it. So it was a Zoom course that we all did. It was a lot of mobile bars came on, which I thought was awesome, but also non-mobile bars came on too. So it was really inspiring to share like really cool statistics about social media that a lot of people didn't know. And that era was like a huge thing that people didn't know, but also the insights on, what you really should know about social media to help promote your social media platforms. And it was really fun. I had a good time with it. You came on the first one.
Yeah.
And it was a great opportunity to share my knowledge with other people. And I think that's where my coaching comes in. And I love like coaching other people and just sharing my success. So I think that I also learned that if people are asking you about something, that means you're doing a good job of it. Monetize that somehow.
Yeah.
Like with my consulting services, I realized that a lot of people were asking me how to build a mobile bar, how to start a mobile bar. So I started coaching. If people are asking you something over and over and over again, that means there's a demand for it. Charge people.
Yeah.
Because
and I mean, no, you can continue.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay.
That was it.
I love free education. Like I love posting tips on my TikTok for photography. And that's what this whole podcast is all about. This is all free information for you to just take with you. So like all that we're talking about today, I'm sure you shared a lot of it in your class, but difference being that that's like one-on-one.
Yep.
Your consultations are one-on-one. They can ask you questions, get an answer right away. You can help them. You gave people homework, didn't you?
So I did.
That
we
kind
did
of stuff.
It was February. We did a 28-day post. So for all 28 days of February, they had to post something on their social media, whether it was their story.
That's awesome.
But that's what we dove into on that kind of like strategy course on this is intimate ways on how I can help you grow on social media. And I think you're right. I think it was a different way than us promoting on a podcast because they could ask questions.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it so much more personalized and like, you're their buddy. You're their coach. Like you're there for them. You can help them out. And then you can send referrals too. Like you make that connection so much tighter, so much better than if you were just a follower.
It's funny you say that because I just had a consultation from another mobile bar in Massachusetts, and I randomly got a message from someone from Massachusetts who follows me, and they're like, do you know any mobile bars in Massachusetts? And I was like, actually I do. And I referred the woman who I did a consultation with, and hopefully she'll book the business.
That's awesome.
So you just never know. Like you never know when those relationships are going to pan out. And it's funny, I like joke with my customers or my clients, and I'm like, sometimes I feel like your therapist, and they're like, no, you are. Like you are my therapist for this 1 hour. And sometimes that's all you need. You just need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you knowledgeable information, but I'm also your friend.
Yeah.
And I'm also showing you that we're in this together and we're doing this together, because I always say entrepreneurship is lonely. And find your buddy, like find your coach, find someone that inspires you, and lean on them when you need it.
I love that.
Me too.
I love that.
Yes. Oh, well, this was fun. I don't know what our topic is for our next one. Do we have it yet?
I'm not sure either. We've got a whole list.
We do. But as mentioned, if you're loving this podcast, leave us a review. Let us know something that you want to hear about. We're all in this together, and I feel like we're really here just to inspire you to keep going in your business. And if there's like one topic that you really want to hear about, let us know.
Yeah.
We want to talk about
it. I think I remember the next one we were talking about is some kind of business management, like how to be your own boss, or like it was some kind of like, I think it was something around those lines, but that's kind of the whole gist of this entire podcast is just how to be your own boss, how to use these free marketing tools, how to maintain your mental health, how to grow your business, how to add new things to your business, how to network your business. Like all of these things work full circle and work hand in hand with each thing. So I love that each episode we're doing kind of flows. We started with networking because that's how we met.
Yep.
And then networking on social media, and now we're talking all about social media.
Yep.
And I think the next one was how to be your own boss, because I think that kind of flows in really well with what we're talking about, is like social media is like one of the hats that you wear. And like we'll go into all the other hats.
All of them.
So Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for listening. Thanks for tuning in. You can find us on all social media platforms. So wherever you're listening today, you can also, if you're not checking us out on YouTube, we are on YouTube as well. So we look forward to chatting with you in 2 weeks.
Please leave us a review if you like what you heard, and let us know if there's anything that you want us to talk about, and we will talk to you guys later.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.